Good morning, folks. Today is November 1st, 2022, and I'm working on elephant garlic. And this is some cloves that I've already divided up from um, the whole clove, like that, or the head, I think is what they call a thing of garlic. And you can see these have got roots coming out, and I think I saw one or two that had some sprout. Here where I am, I just leave it outside a lot of times, and this has been in the pot or different pots since I took it up back in, I think probably January was when I dug it. Elephant garlic does a thing like it puts on along with clothing, and you can divide it up. And sometimes you get, like this one would have probably two big cloves in it, maybe more, but some of them will divide up into half a dozen of the big cloves. But then they make these little protrusions out the side that a lot of times when you pull the head up, if you don't dig it but you pull it, the corm is what that's called, and the corms will break off in the dirt and they'll come back the next year. And that's the way the corms look. Elephant garlic, I like to plant it at least 9 inches deep, sometimes even deeper. And the ones you see coming up in the pots here, that's where I didn't dig up the corms. There's a few little ones down in here. That's the corms that had broke off in the dirt, and then I'd planted some squash on top of them after I harvested the garlic. And so now I'm just replanting garlic in the same pots. And I've been multiplying it up and getting some really good heads and cloves. And so that's one clove of elephant garlic there, and the ones growing wild out in the garden don't have that kind of size to them. But I've kept growing these again and again up here where I'm taking care of them, where they're in soft soil and they can grow easily, and fertilizing and everything else, which out in the garden I haven't because of all the weeds and trees and trash and everything else. I just don't fertilize weeds, trees, and trash too much. So anyway, I like I said, a good sized pot. You can do it in smaller pots. Wouldn't say go anything smaller than about a 1 gallon pot, and then I wouldn't put but one clove to the pot and plant it kind of in the bottom of the pot. They do make a pretty good sized bush, especially if you let them go to flower and they top out, which I always try to. These up here especially, that I'm trying to get some size to them, once they start putting a flower on in May or so is what I see them. I cut the flower tops off. At one time I had a florist lady that she wanted the flower heads, and she was giving me $1 a piece for the flower heads for them, and so I did save them. But she's no longer in business, and I haven't looked for another market for the flowers, so it's just easier to just cut them off, throw them down, and be done with them. I used to deep fry them, batter fry some of the flowers whenever they were real young, before they opened or anything else. Just whenever they were real young, I would batter them up and fry them, and they were pretty good that way. I love garlic, so it was a treat for me. Anyway, just a quick video. Like I said, they like pretty much any kind of soil, and especially whenever it is well worked and soft. And these pots here, my intentions are, I'm going to find me a stick so big around or so, and poke a hole and drop a clove down in it. Cover it up and go again. I plan on topping these pots off with a couple of inches of perlite just to keep the trash down over winter and the grass, because I just pull, you can see all the weeds that I just pulled out of them. So to give them a good start ahead of the weeds and all, which this soil, probably next year, I'll dump it out and mix it in, so having the perlite on it will just be added into the soil mix, and that's the way I'm going to be rolling this year anyway. I've got, I think it's 4 or 5 more of the big pots like that, the 15-gallon, and so right now that's my intentions. I'll multiply it out, and I have sold a little bit and gave way more of it away. That's probably only about half of what I had harvested back in the early summer. Blessings, everyone. Flu season is coming on again. Please be careful, be considerate, wear a mask if you need to or have to. I still wear my mask if I'm away from the house. Wash your hands. Be safe. Everyone have a blessed day.